What's going on, guys? It's Wafers, and welcome back to the Newport County Road to Glory Career Mode. It's episode 14, and today we're going to be playing 4 league games and a cup game in August as we progress through the transfer window. Now, before we get into the games, we have to go through some transfer business. Ryan Morris, we are going to accept this loan offer, send him out on loan. At the beginning of last episode, I wanted to, then I changed my mind. And then once we signed Broadhead, I figured we had enough depth and that we could afford to loan out Morris, hopefully get him some experience, and hopefully see him grow a little bit this season since he won't get much playing time with us. Now, looking through these scouting reports, didn't find much in this one. To be honest, I've mentioned it a couple of times. Brennan Byrne has sort of been letting me down lately. He has a couple of good prospects here. I end up signing Harry Owen out of this group, and we'll take a look at him right after I am finished with this scouting report. But looking at the youth squad, this is what we have right now. Tony Morgan still looks like our best prospect, maybe. Owen, we don't really know his potential range yet. It could be good. He's 57 overall, and his max potential is 92. But I think Morgan is probably going to be the best player that comes out of the academy at this point. We have some players that are sort of low in overall and low in potential. Tom Pendry, we are going to promote him. We're also going to promote Scale. We're going to promote Baxter and Taylor. All these guys are pretty low potential guys, 74 to 80, 74 to 82 potential, something like that. But I figured that it'd be good to get them up into the senior squad and potentially loan them out, get them some experience. They're not going to play for us. They're not really going to have a lot of potential going forward. So I figured if we could loan them out, maybe see them grow a little bit, we could potentially sell them next season or the season after and get some profit from them, hopefully bring in some cash. That way we can use that on players that we want to bring into the first team. We're going into the first game of this episode. We are facing off against Luton Town. We're traveling to England, and within the first 5 minutes, we come on the attack here. Moss on this left side, just dribbling around, trying to find some space, ends up playing it into Haynes, who goes back out to Moss, down this left wing, and he's going to cross this one in, and is Bennett at the back post. A nice little volley, hits it across goal, and puts us up 1-0 over Luton Town. I really like Moss so far on that left wing. I can't really decide between him and Broadhead so far. You'll see Broadhead play a couple of games in this episode. They've both been good, but Moss, his pace is very useful out on that left side. We would give away a penalty here, though, and Sheehan goes through the back of the Luton Town player. At first, I thought it was sort of a soft penalty call. He fell down pretty easily, but I can see, Sheehan did go through the back of him, took out his leg, so it is a penalty. It is what it is, and Maguire would step up. He puts it past Townsend and levels the game for Luton Town. They would come forward again, still in the first half, 15 minutes before the break. Played it into the box. Morel is now playing it around, just dribbling. I cannot get the ball off of him. As you can see, Haynes going around in circles around Morel, and Maguire would get his brace, make it 2-1. We'd have to wait all the way until the 70th minute to try to respond to them. We come forward again. Now you can see Broadhead is in off the bench. Bennett is going to play it in here to Telford, and Telford is able to equalize and bring us level 2-2. We can always count on Telford to get us a goal when we need one. It was great to be able to get this goal and keep the start of the season going well. We won our first game. We want to keep some good form in the beginning of the season, and we pick up the draw against Luton Town. Now we're heading into the first round of the Carabao Cup at the Rodney Parade against Gillingham. And this was sort of a revenge match in a sense. They are in League One with us, so we will play them multiple times this season. But you'll remember they knocked us out of the Papa John's Trophy. Then they went on to win it. Now we're facing them in the Carabao Cup, and I wanted to beat them. I wanted to beat them in a cup tie. We fielded a completely backup team, and Baxter off of the bench. He comes in to start this game, his first game for the club, and a nice little volley after he chests it down to put us up 1-0. We jump all the way to 10 minutes before the end of the game, and Broadhead on this left side doing some more work, dribbles it into the middle. Labadie hits Castellon. Castellon is able to put it through to Baxter. A nice little pass, and Baxter puts it through the goalkeeper's legs to double our advantage. He gets his brace in his debut for the club, and we beat Gillingham 2-0 in the Carabao Cup. We will be advancing to the next round. Next game is a league game. We're back to using the first team squad. I'm going to try to use the first team for as many league games, obviously, as I can. And then we're going to use the second team for all the cup ties. And our second team is actually pretty competitive. We have a lot of, low, mid-60s players that could potentially start on our team that end up being in our second team. So we should be able to do well in the cup ties, at least be competitive. But in the league, we're going to use our first team, and Haynes here puts it into Moss, who finds himself in the middle and puts it into the back of the net. Another reason I really like Moss on the left side. Sometimes he'll find himself in the middle of the pitch. Him and Telford will switch. And since he was a striker, he has that ability to finish the ball, which is really useful if if Telford and Moss do end up switching when they're making runs. We come forward again 10 minutes after the restart, and this time Bennett puts through Sheehan, and Sheehan puts it into the back of the net, doubles our advantage 2-0, and he's been getting forward a lot more this season in that center mid position opposed to being a CDM. He gets forward a lot more and is actually contributing to the attack, where last season he was more of just a defensive presence. This season we're really starting to see his attacking ability, which is nice because I think that he's obviously one of our highest rated players. I think that he's some very good stats that will be put to use with him going forward. Into this game now against Burton Albion, and we would come forward our first goal with Matthew Hopkins in this season, and his first goal for the club overall. A nice little ball put through. He makes a run off the back of the right back and is able to put that one in to give us an early advantage. We would come forward again, though, really trying to attack and break down Burton in this first half, and Moss would put through Telford. Telford, the nice little chip over the keeper to double our advantage. Within 26 minutes, we are up 2-0. I really like that goal. He's been able to provide a variety of finishes, the finesse shots, power shots, and the little chips here and there. It's really nice to see, and it was a great finish. Telford would get through again, though, right before half, into stoppage time, and this is a nice little finesse shot into the corner. I was actually trying to use his right foot there, but he ended up going with his left foot. He just bent it away from the keeper, and no problem, and we are up 3-0 at halftime, cruising in this one. Really no threat from Burton Albion in this game. They didn't really come forward that much. It was really just us coming forward. Moss scores here, puts us up 4-0. And after I got that first goal, they really just started pressing really hard. And I don't know why they just started pressing from like the 7th minute, but it made it really easy. You'll see some of these counters, we just outman them going forward. There's just gaps in the defense because their team is so high pressing. And that really just let us get, a bunch of goals. This one I thought was hilarious. Telford hits both posts, then gets the rebound. It's one of the wonkiest goals I've scored in this career mode so far. It might be the wonkiest. You can see both posts right back to him, and he finishes it to put us up 5-0. A weird, fluky goal, but I will take it. I don't think I've hit both posts and then finished it in the back of the net before, so I'll take it. And then Bennett finishes the game off. Another stoppage time goal, another volley. This time Hopkins puts it in, and Bennett volleys it with his left foot. And we are able to win this game 6-0. Telford picks up a hat trick in this one, 3 goals on 4 attempts, and he hit both posts in one shot, which I think, should be extra bonus points. But we're going into a game against Ipswich here, hosting them at the Rodney Parade, and we are running a rotated side in this one. The games were really close together, and I wanted to make sure that we had a lot of, stamina on our main squad for the games headed forward. So I had to rotate the whole squad. And we came forward pretty early here. Castellón is able to give us an early advantage. And this backup team plays really well. They play a little bit differently, mainly because Tristan Abrahams, he's a very good striker. He was on loan last season, and he's actually pretty good. He's pretty high rated. I think he's like 65 rated. But he is a different type of player from Telford. You'll see here, he puts one into the back of the net, doubles our advantage, gives us a 2-0 lead. But while Telford's smaller and more agile, very speed-based, Abrahams is bigger. He's like 6'1", and he has some strength to him, which makes him more of a target man. It sort of changes the way I play. I play more feeding the ball to him, having him hold it, and then I play into the wingers, put the wingers behind. But it's still good. It's a different style, but it works very well. It's nice that I can have him on the bench and switch it up if needed. Ipswich would get a goal back here, a nice little finish from them after a passing move, but we would come forward again, trying to put the game on ice. Risky puts it into the back of the net from his center mid position, comes forward on a nice run. Abrahams finds him and restores our 2-goal advantage. And, that was good to see. I always love when my midfielders are able to get involved, are able to, help on the attack going forward. We would come forward again right before the end of the game. This time, Abrahams, another layoff to Castellón, and Castellón would put it into the back of the net, gives us a 4-1 advantage, and that is how this one would end. We end up beating Ipswich 4-1 at the Rodney Parade, keeping, it's early on, but we're keeping our home stadium, our home ground, a fortress, which is what I want this season. I want to try to lose as little games as possible at home, and really make it a place where opposing teams just fear us when they come to. But that's going to be it for this episode of the Newport County Road to Glory. If you guys did enjoy it, make sure to drop a like on the video, comment, let me know what you think about the Road to Glory down below, and subscribe if you are new, and I will see you guys soon for a new episode.